There are betrayals. And then there is this one. Not loud, not violent, not filled with anger, but quiet, close, and disguised as love. A betrayal that came with a kiss. That night, the world was silent. Jerusalem slept peacefully, unaware that something irreversible was about to happen. But one man could not sleep. Judas. Not a stranger, not an enemy, but one of the closest. He had walked with Jesus Christ. He had heard his voice, not from a distance, but beside him. He had seen miracles that others only dreamed of. And yet, something inside him had begun to shift. Not suddenly, but slowly. Like a thought you refuse to confront until it quietly changes who you are. It didn't begin with hatred. It began with disappointment. Judas expected power, a king, a conqueror. But what he saw was humility. What he heard was talk of suffering. And deep inside him, a question grew louder every day. Why is this not what I expected? And when expectation fights reality, the heart begins to drift. Judas didn't fall in a moment. He drifted into betrayal, a thought here, a doubt there. Until one day, he made a decision that would define him forever. He went to the very men who hated Jesus, and he asked them, "What will you give me if I deliver him to you?" Not protect him, not defend him, deliver him. And they gave him a price, 30 pieces of silver. And just like that, a relationship became a transaction. But what makes it heavier is that he still went back. He still sat with him, still ate with him, still listened, as if nothing had changed. That is the dangerous part of the human heart. It can pretend, even when it has already decided. At the table, everything seemed normal. Bread passed from hand to hand, wine poured gently. Then Jesus spoke, calm, certain. "One of you will betray me." Silence, fear. Each one asked, "Is it me?" Even Judas asked. Even he looked into the eyes of the one he had already sold and pretended. And Jesus answered softly, "You have said so." No anger, just truth. Placed before him one last time, a chance to stop, a chance to turn back. But he didn't. The night deepened. They walked to the garden, a place of peace. But peace would not live there that night. Jesus stepped away to pray. And in that moment, he carried the weight of everything that was coming. The betrayal, the pain, the suffering. And still, he stayed, still. He chose love. Then the silence broke. Footsteps, voices, torches cutting through the darkness. And at the front of it all, Judas, walking toward Jesus, not behind him anymore, but toward him. With a decision already made, he had given them a sign, not a shout, a kiss. Something meant to show love turned into something that would destroy trust. He stepped closer, close enough to remember everything, every miracle, every moment, every word, and still, he leaned in and kissed him. And in that moment, something broke, not just trust, something deeper, something that cannot be repaired with words. Jesus looked at him, not with anger, but with a question that still echoes. "Friend, why have you come? Friend, even now, even after the betrayal." He still called him friend, and that is what makes it painful. Love was still present, even when betrayal was complete. Everything happened quickly after that. Hands grabbed him, voices rose. But Jesus did not resist. He did not fight, because this was never about escaping pain. It was about fulfilling something greater than it. And Judas stood there, watching, as the reality of his choice unfolded, and slowly, the weight hit him. The silver in his hand no longer felt like money. It felt like guilt, like something screaming, You did this, regret came. Sharp, immediate, but too late, because some choices cannot be undone. He tried to go back, tried to return the silver. I have betrayed innocent blood. But the moment had passed, and the consequence remained. This story is not just about Judas. It is about how betrayal happens, because it doesn't begin with action. It begins within, a thought, a doubt, a quiet disconnection, and over time, it becomes a decision. Judas was not born a traitor. He became one, slowly, silently. And that is what makes this story uncomfortable, because it means anyone can drift. That night, a kiss changed everything, not because it was loud, but because it was close, because it looked like love, but carried betrayal. So the question remains, if you were there, who would you be? The one who stays loyal, or the one who walks close enough to betray? Because sometimes the deepest betrayals don't look like hate. They look like love. This is Story Loom by Goodness, where stories are not just told, they are felt.